Hey everybody, this is Dr. Ladre Weathers, your Better Life Coach. Y'all see my old t-shirt because I'm at home. I was not going to come live, but I'm going to wait a few minutes for other people to jump on. I've got to really share what's going on in my world because you all know I coach from where I am, and I know many people are running around, and a lot of times there is this nagging, there is this feeling, and they're like, I want to get some things done. Yeah, and I did this video part one before called the Know You Need to Hear, but I want to follow that up with part two. I did part one, I think, back in May. Sounds about right. But life continues to happen, so I want to give you all part two. So hopefully you'll learn. Yeah, I did the last one in June 9th. Uh, 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 yeah, June 9th of this year. So I want to give you all some extra update on what's going on. But I hope that you are able to learn and to pull from what I'm going to share tonight. I've got three things for part two of this Know That You Need to Hear. Thanks, y'all, for jumping on. Do me a favor. I'm going to get started in about 30 seconds. Please make sure you share this with people that you know, especially entrepreneurs, people who are purpose-driven, people who are pushing to make things happen. Please share this with them. And if you're watching the replay, definitely make sure that you send the replay link to people. I have nothing to sell today. I have nothing to offer today. Yeah, but please help me get this out. Hey, good to see you, cousin Delia. Long time no see. Hey, Ellaby. Hey, everybody. Hey. This is going to be short, but so good. So again, give me 10 seconds. I'll get started. Hey, Betty. Good to see you. Good to see you. Yeah, here we go. So back in June of this year, June 9th, I did another video called the Know You Need to Hear. And No is actually an acronym for no longer okay. No longer okay. And in that video, I talked a little bit about pursuing purpose. Okay. That's where I left off. But since then, here we are 4 months later, and it's time to I had to come do part two of the no or the no longer okay you needed to hear. Why? Because sometimes life happens because we are not doing what we heard. You're not ready for me. Sometimes life happens because we're not doing what we heard. And so I made the video in response to what I was hearing, that my purpose was calling me and my purpose was pushing me and purpose was really agitating me. But the problem sometimes is that purpose is calling, purpose is agitating, purpose is stirring, but we're not answering the call with action. And guess what happened to me? That's why I'm doing this video, because I did not answer the call with action. I made plans. Okay, well, I'll change this. I'll work this out. I'll and some things in life, God will not allow you to plan. You must simply do and obey. I've heard it said this way: delayed obedience is still disobedience. And so I'm telling you the truth. I was disobedient because I delayed. Because I kept trying to plan and do some stuff. And hear me well. Sometimes purpose is calling you and you have to plan it out. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when you're not taking any action at all. So let me give you three things to know, three things to tell that if the no longer okay or the no you need to hear will become action. Okay? Because sometimes God will make things happen so that you will do what you need to do anyway. It's so much easier to obey quickly. It's so much easier to make changes quickly. It's so much easier and so much more beneficial to do what needs to be done, boom, right there. So here's the first thing. And I'll give you the story behind this so that you know. The first thing, the first way you know that the no has to come with action because you won't do, you find yourself making long-term plans based upon a short-term situation. You make long-term plans over a short-term situation. And if somebody will be so kind as to put these notes in the comments for other people to see, I would appreciate it. The first way to know that action will have to help you do what you won't do on your own is that you make these long-term plans based upon a short-term situation. So watch this. I'll tell you what happened to me. Let me cut this phone off. It's driving me nuts. For those of you all who've not followed me, I have been an Uber driver for the last 5 years. And it started off as being a way to make some quick money to replace another income stream because I've always had multiple streams of income. So what happened is I began to drive. And at first I was driving, I said, hey, if I make an extra $300 or $400 in a week, great. It's extra money. I can get out of debt faster. Da, 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 da. Well, what happens is there's a scripture that says in the Proverbs, it talks about the hunger being unsatisfied. And so what happened is the money was pretty good on a part-time basis. And so the money began to increase, but the money increased and my time also increased. Hey, yo, Alyssa, good to see you, daughter. And so because my time increased, my attention was diverted from purpose. Now, here's the crazy part. If you go back in the Old Testament, you don't have to be religious, just get the point. The children of Israel went to Egypt because Egypt was a blessing to escape a famine. Okay? And sometimes we get caught up because our purpose along the route, there is something that has meant to happen. There's something that is meant to help you, but sometimes we get so caught up in it that Egypt, which was meant to escape the famine, becomes a block. It becomes a hindrance. It becomes a trap that you're stuck in. So what happened is I've been driving Uber for these years, and I'm telling you, this $300 to $400 a week began to go up. I began to make $500 to $600 a week. In 20 to 25 hours when I could not be working my other business, when I could not work and call clients, when I could not do coaching sessions. So I'm like, wow. And then I added some more time. I said, let me get this done. Let me get this paid off. And then it became $800 to $1,200 a week. But now I'm at 35, almost 40 hours a week. And so I said, okay, Lord, I need to replace my car because I did the math today. This messed me up. In 3 years and 3 months, I put over 200,000 miles on 2 separate vehicles. One of them is my BMW. But again, because I was so busy, I was so sucked in by that money. I'm talking about $150, $250, sometimes $400 in a day outside of my normal business hours, outside of my normal business. But the problem with that is you get comfortable, you get caught up, and you get stuck. And next thing you know, you've been diverted away from your purpose. You've been diverted away from what is long-term your lane. So these long-term plans showed up with this short-term situation because I'm like, let me replace my car. And in car shopping, I'm looking at another car to continue to drive Uber. Wait a minute, hold up. You mean to tell me, well, with this doctoral dissertation and defense coming up, I'm worried about driving Uber? You mean to tell me that the fact that I can make, hundreds of dollars for a couple-minute presentation with my legalship business, and I'm looking at a car to drive Uber? You mean to tell me that I can do webinars, and I've got customers in multiple states with Better Life Institute, and I'm stuck on buying another car to drive Uber? I'm trying to tell you. And sometimes because we won't take action on the no that we feel internally, that we won't take action on the no that's there, that it's no longer okay to do this, that man, something had to happen and I no longer can drive with Uber. And at first I freaked out because I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to do? And then it came back to me. But that was a short-term solution. That was a short-term help. That was a short-term aid. It wasn't meant to be long-term. That's why I know that sometimes you need to hear it's no longer okay to do what worked, because just because it worked in the past doesn't mean that it's going to continue to work in the future. Point number 2. I told you the first thing that messed me up was that the long-term plans were based upon a short-term situation. I told you I'm going to buy a brand new car, well, a new to me car, that's going to cost me more money just so I can drive Uber. Second thing, though, is that you give up the future for your present. Sometimes this no longer okay, this no will force you into action because you're giving up the future for the present. That's what I was doing. See, my future is not an Uber driver. My future is impacting the world as a coach. My future is impacting the world because coaching allows me to continue to educate. That's my future. My future is not driving people around for 20, 25, 30, 45, 50 bucks an hour. That's not my future because my body was taking a beating. I've gained weight. Oh my God. My lungs are not working the same way. No part of my health is the same. Well, my hairline is still there, but no part of my health is the same. And it was robbing my future for this present money. Why are you giving up your future, the things that God has promised you, the things that you've dreamed about for some quick money today? And it doesn't have to be Uber related. Get the principle. Don't give up the future for the present. Yeah, there was some things I had to get done. There was a time I needed a bill to pay and I had like 3 days to get it done. I did it with your Uber money. But why would I give up my future? I know the income I'm supposed to earn, and it's not coming through Uber. I know the lifestyle I'm supposed to lead, and it's not coming through Uber. I know the impact that I'm supposed to have in this world, and it's not coming through Uber. Be quiet, Ellie. I'm going to cut my hair in a few minutes. You know, I know the things that are my destiny. I know the things that are my future, and they're not coming through Uber. But I was giving up my future for that present money, that present tangible outcome. I don't want you to do the same. So the no is an acronym for no longer okay. And it was no longer okay for me to do this, to mess up and be stuck where I was. But because I wouldn't listen, action came and it took it away from me. All right. So let me give you the third one. I told you that the first one, sometimes the no longer okay will be action because you're giving up long-term plans for short-term situations. And then I told you don't give up your future for your present. Last but not least, the last thing that you know that you might be ready for life to do some stuff because you won't do it, is that you get stuck on what's doable versus what is destined. You get stuck on what is doable versus what is destined. You know, there is a level of satisfaction and fulfillment that comes from doing what is doable, doing from what is destined, not just what is doable. And sometimes we make the mistake in getting caught up in what is doable. It's easy to do. It doesn't cost you a whole lot. Yeah, I was tired driving Uber. Yeah, I was frustrated driving Uber. Yeah, I was claustrophobic in my car driving Uber. Yes, I learned how to sleep in the car for 25, 30 minutes so I can get home. Yes, I made all of these changes because they were doable, but they were not aligned with my destiny. They were not aligned with my life purpose. And I just want to help you to get to purpose. You know why? It's not because there's a good $1 billion at purpose. It's not because nothing ever goes wrong in purpose. But when everything happens in purpose, you are fulfilled. When everything is going on in purpose, you are satisfied. There is a pleasure and a joy that comes in your life because you're doing what is destined, not what is doable. Yes, you can make some good money, blah, blah, blah. Yes, you can do whatever on the short term, but you can't measure the money in destiny. You can't measure the money in destiny. You can't measure the temporary benefits in destiny. And I'm telling you, this has been a 4-month journey because I missed it. I was so busy getting it done in the short term that I lost it in the long term. Yes, Cherie Brown, you're right, seasons. And the crazy part is sometimes those seasons are up. Last thing I'll share with you. There's a story in the Bible where the prophet had just come off of a major victory. And in his recovery time, he got comfortable because it was doable. It wasn't destined. And in the prophet's comfort, God had to make no longer okay show up in action. The brook dried up. You mean to tell me he's somewhere recovering and relaxing and getting himself back together and he can't drink water? Right. And for some of us, my concern is that you're going to repeat my mistake. You're going to repeat that you hear this no in your spirit, that you feel that you're not doing enough and it's time to shift, and you won't shift voluntarily. Because if you don't shift voluntarily, there is a real good chance for the greater good that you will be shifted involuntarily. And that's what happened to me 12 days ago. I was shifted involuntarily. Why was I shifted involuntarily? I'm trying to tell you, because my long-term plans were made for short-term situations. That's a no-no. Because I gave up the future that I know for the present that I'm experiencing, and because I was stuck doing what was doable versus what I'm destined to do. I hope this helped you. I hope this helped you. I hope this helped you. I'm going to put this on the Better Life Institute YouTube channel. You can go back and look at this video versus the No You Need to Hear Part 1. I've gotten some great reviews on that. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. There's content there that I don't put on Facebook, but I had to go live so that I can get this out in the moment and so they can help benefit you. Because my goal is to make sure that we live the best life possible. Whatever that means for you, however that has been designed for your life, however that has been set up for your life, it's up to you. but I want you to have the best life possible. And I'm sorry, sometimes that no longer okay. If we don't respond, it becomes an action that pushes us by force, right? Thanks y'all for jumping on. I appreciate it. Be on the lookout for what we're doing. Some other stuff. Other stuff is coming up next. Continue to support the Better Life Institute if you are enjoying and if you are being blessed, because I only share based upon where I was or based upon where I am. Look forward to talking to y'all soon. Be blessed, be well, and enjoy the rest of your week.